Hey there! I am making my very first little video. I decided to do this because I saw this little trick that I'm going to show you when I first started sewing with the serger, and it was really helpful because sergers kind of have a learning curve when you haven't used them in a while or haven't used them before because they're different than a sewing machine. And I have sewed a serged edge on the wrong side of fabric and had to take it off to redo it plenty of times. And seam ripping a serged edge is extremely time consuming, very frustrating, and I have halted on a project more than once because I didn't feel like seam ripping the edge. I came across this video that I had seen on Facebook, and I never saved it. I just remember watching it and thinking, wow, I'm going to try that. And the next time I tried it, I was like amazed at how easy it was to seam rip a serged edge. So I want to show you how to do that. So I have my little serged fabric. This is my knit fabric, so it's a stretchy fabric. And as you can see, I have my front side, which is my upper loopers. And then I have my bottom side, which is my bottom loopers here. And then I have my end pieces. Now the end pieces you don't really need. I usually will take those off, and you'll just have your little threads hanging off. You can take them off at the beginning or the end, whenever you feel like. Doesn't really matter. And I usually start here on one end, and I'm going to take my seam ripper and I'm going to put it on the side where my upper loopers are. I am going to slide it across, just across my upper loopers, above where the needle thread goes, just in the upper loopers, and I'm just gonna cut it across here. Now as you can see, that front, the upper loopers are cut, and when you look on the bottom, my bottom loopers are still whole. They're still looped together. So you can either go across the front, or once you get started, you can take your seam ripper and you can just put it in between your fabric and just make sure that the blade of your seam ripper is on the side where your upper loopers are, and you cut the upper loopers and you leave the lower loopers whole. And you'll just go across the fabric. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you can just zoom straight through. Sometimes, if I go too fast, I might snag on a bottom looper. So far, I haven't. And if you do, it's not really a big deal. You can just kind of pick up from there. But you're going to go all the way through the whole seam this way, just making sure that you're slicing up the top upper loopers and leaving the lower loopers whole. And then once you have seam ripped from edge to edge, you have your front here all ripped up, and then the back is all going to be whole, still looped together. You're going to grab the lower looper thread, and you're just going to pull it, and it should all come off in one piece. You're just going to take it, pull it all off to the very end. So now I have my lower looper thread here, and then on the back where my lower loopers go, that's the needle thread that you can see poking through. And then the front, you still have the upper loopers here and the needle threads. At this point, then you're going to want to get, and sometimes it's on the wrong side, I want it on this side, on the front, both of my needle threads, and that I have my needle threads in my hand should also come off all in one piece. So those are my needle threads. Now I have my upper loopers just basically laying on top of my fabric, and I can just do that. My seam is going to be pulled apart. The back of my fabric has nothing, and then the front. Now if you're working with a bigger piece than this, you can just get a lint roller, and the lint roller should just take all of that off. Because it's just going to be laying on top of the fabric. It's not going to be in it anymore. And as you can see, that was extremely painless, extremely quick, and I didn't lose any of my seam allowance. I didn't have to trim any threads. I didn't have to trim my fabric or anything like that. It's extremely helpful because I have moved too fast on a project and serged the wrong edge many times. And that has helped me with projects, and it will continue to help me with projects, and hopefully it will help you as well. Thank you for watching.